Okay. Hey, Jules, and whoever else is watching. This is Gina, Natasha, Natalie, and we are going to be sharing our poses with you of our modifications for hypermobility. The pose that I have been assigned is Baddha Konasana. So to start, I'll just even out my mat here. You'll need a strap with a pretty big loop in it. So my strap is pretty big here. And if you like to sit up on a blanket or a block for Baddha Konasana, that's fine. So hypermobility, kind of the area that I'm curious about, this is personal. This is me in Baddha Konasana. I can just flop down and just hang here. I'm buckling through here. And what happens is when I buckle through my hips, if I'm not paying attention, I start to brace through my back. So you'll take the strap with the loop. I'll turn to the side to show the setup, the beginning of it. And you'll lasso your body with the strap and put it at the top of your sacrum. And then, I realize my strap is the same color as my shirt. So that's probably, so it's right on my sacrum. And then bring it forward through my inner thighs and set it down and come into Baddha Konasana if you're practicing along. Just feel your Baddha Konasana as it is. And then I'm gonna lift my knees up a little bit higher away from gravity, and then take the strap over the kneecaps and tighten up the strap. Okay. And now the strap over the sacrum, over the kneecaps, can hold the legs up in a little different relationship to gravity. And now, and start to reach the thigh bones out, reach the kneecaps out into the strap. And then push the feet into one another. For me, when I reach out through my kneecaps, my feet just automatically start to push into one another. And so just kind of feels a little different relationship to gravity. And now, without letting the knees drop, slip the strap off. A little bit more kind of alive quality in my lower body, and my upper body just naturally, everything above my hips starts to, it feels a little more buoyant, a little bit more a sense of releasing upward. And then gather the legs in and shake them out. And now I will hand things off to Natalie.
So, hi, I'm going to be doing Ustrasana. So with the camel pose and it being a back extension. So for those with hypermobility, the thoughts are that they'll most likely have this awesome extension, but that they might just be kind of collapsing into the posture and just almost maybe overextension with no integrity through the spine because they can just like fold into it. So the epiphany kind of came with after reading The Wisdom of the Body Moving with Linda Hartley, and I was going to take a swig of my smoothie at work, and as I just started to kind of reach for the last bit out of the bottom of my cup, I found myself really like reaching up with my head, and then my whole spine did sequentially follow the movement, and all of a sudden I just felt like maybe I could drop into a back bend, and I thought, wow, that was this epiphany that I had while drinking my smoothie. So that was kind of the approach I thought for the Ustrasana. So the only prop that I was going to integrate was just the wall. And the thought was just pressing the feet against the wall in order to engage the low body a little bit more, because otherwise I just found like the legs are just there. So pressing my feet against the wall, we can add a little bit of a push-pull here by pushing the feet into the wall, and then from the knees almost pulling up towards the hips, especially with the hamstrings. And I just felt a little bit more integrity there. So now adding that attempt at the mouthing pattern, or the sucking pattern that Linda Hartley mentions, the idea is to move from the mouth and the top part of the jaw. So maybe even locating the TMJ joint And you can keep the hands here for that reference so that you even have an idea. We were talking about just like getting that reference of where your head is in space, because perhaps hypermobile might not even really know because they just go. So the idea may be just integrating that feeling, that tactile sensation, that feedback of your own hands against your jaw. And then once again, as the mouth opens, the movement of the skull levers, and then that sequential movement moves down the vertebrae down to the tail. So just playing with it here, adding that push-pull in the low body if you can, and then from here we go for that reach. So it's more of the reach and pull. Reach of the head, so I'm initiating the movement from the head, and then I just feel everything also reaching and pulling down the spine. Now it doesn't have to be the full pose, you don't have to go all the way back, and you don't have to throw your head back, but just that initiating the movement from the head and finding that integration down the spine all the way to the tail. So that way they're staying engaged, they're not just falling, flopping back into it, and then maybe they have a better idea of where their head is in space, and then they're still connecting to that lower body. So that was sort of the idea that we had integrated the Uttanasana. So hopefully that makes sense. A bit of push-pull, a little bit of reach-pull. Okay, so without further ado, we have Natasha.
Hi, my pose is compass pose, and I've come to do it against the wall. So what I want you to do is you're going to lift one leg up, so you're in a standing lunge. You're going to take your same arm as same leg, and you're begin to connect to your feet on the ground. You're going to come down. You're going to press your arm into your leg into your hand. So that gives you a little bit of rotation. So you're taking this and keeping it quite small, and then you can begin to raise your arm up and turn to wherever your head feels comfortable. And then you're going to come down, and you're going to repeat on the other side. There we go. That's all three.